Okay, you might be saying to yourself, hey Mark, why are you diving for the matrix right now when you haven't even talked about the LFOs or the envelopes, etc.? Well, the fact of the matter is the matrix plays such an important role in those functions, I can't really talk about them without explaining the matrix. Now, granted, I'm going to be using them in my explanation for the matrix, so I'm just going to have to rely that you must have some envelope knowledge or some LFO knowledge so that I'm not ruining the surprise. But don't worry, there will be LFO and envelope videos coming. We're just going to talk about the matrix right now. Okay, the matrix. Here is the matrix right here. First, let's start off with, I love how I just introduced the matrix like, oh, the matrix is this part, like you don't know, like you haven't been looking at this synthesizer going, oh my gosh, look at that matrix this whole time. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about the matrix. I'm going to talk about two aspects of the matrix, the preset aspect and the mod aspect. The preset aspect, let's dive right in. If you want to access a preset on the Arturia MatrixBrute, you could press these arrow buttons up here in the preset section. There, I've chosen a preset. Okay, that I'm going to tell you right now can be helpful, but that's really not the way you want to go. And why? Because the matrix is also a preset selection function, which is to say, if you want a preset, press a button. I'm choosing D4. You know, usually presets are pretty, they're directed towards consumer use and they're fine and they hit all of the standards that you'd expect. This huge long diatribe is just basically me saying, I don't know what it is about Arturia. I don't know who designed these presets, but man, they're super cool and I really enjoy them. So these presets are worth listening to and worth digging into, and they really explore a lot of the cool functionality, and they're not afraid to be gritty or dirty or messy or wild. And I like that. So anyway, back to the thing that we're actually talking about. You could just press a button. And there's your preset. And you know where you are because the preset is listed right up here in the preset window. So you may notice that in a lot of my demos, I've been set to like P1. That's because Arturia has left this bottom 16. They have provided for us 16 patches down at the bottom that are just a sawtooth wave, and you still have to figure out where things are, but most things are off. So it makes it easier. Anyway, that is the preset section. If it's on the pink button preset and your buttons are pink, you're in the preset section. There's usually only one chosen in this whole vast matrix. So that's a lot of fun. It's super easy. It's a great way to get around. If you have sounds that are, numerically distant from each other, like if you're playing B1 and you need to get to like N14, it's just super easy to jump. Also, these sounds are so cool. Anyway, so that's the preset section. It's that simple. But let's talk about the mod section. And let's go down to my preset so we don't have any pre-existing mods. And I'm going to tell you right now, let's say you're me and you just pressed P01 so you can go in, you can start making a sound. And then you spend like 25 minutes coming up with all these different aspects and all these different things that are going on. And you've really worked at it and you've done all this stuff and you're really excited. And then you're like, okay, I need to direct this LFO to something. And you go over and you try to make an LFO patch connection. What you have forgotten is that you're still in preset mode. And if I go over to go, let's put LFO2 to VCO2's Ultra, pow. Guess what just happened? We went to preset F6 because we were still in preset. Which is, ooh, that's nice. Anyway, but the sad news is we just lost that patch that we made. Why? Because we chose a different preset. If you choose a different preset, you go on to the next preset no matter what you were last doing. So I'm here to tell you, when you start editing a patch, remember to press mod. You're going to be happy you did. You need to do it. Okay. So in the mod section, I am a modular fan. I love using modulars. I love the physical activity of connecting a cable between two different functions and then making a decision about how that works. For me, that gets to be kind of an intellectual process. I kind of feel like I should put on a lab coat and I'm sitting there doing experiments. In a way, it used to kind of take me out of the musical experience of shaping sound as I'm making music. The immediacy of this patch panel really helps that for me, because you can make connections so quickly and affect them quickly, see where all the connections are, and respond to them in a musical fashion in real time. And I know that's possible with modular stuff, but for me, it works a lot better and more immediately with this functionality. Okay, so let's just say right now, we want to apply envelope 1, the VCF envelope, to oscillator 1, which is our only oscillator. Here's all we have to do. Choose the modulator, choose the destination, choose the amount. So let's direct envelope 1 straight to VCO 1. Pow. We don't hear anything. Why? Because we haven't chosen an amount. This is our amount knob up here, this fantastically gigantic, cool, easily accessible, and nice feeling knob. So we just have to decide an amount. You can see there are LEDs to give you a sense of the amount. You also get a numeric value of that amount right here in the preset thing, which doesn't stay, but if you want to choose 34, you have a means to always arrive at the same amount if you want, because it has that numeric aspect. And you can add more to a large degree. So that it's just as easy as that. You have connected envelope 1. The modulation sources are going down the left. The destinations are going across the top. You've made that connection, you've chosen your amount, and that's awesome. But don't forget, this knob also goes to the negative. So you can apply this envelope negatively to the pitch of VCO 1. Super awesome. Super immediate. When you're in the mod section, here I'll make another selection. The pink button is the one that you're on. So when you look at the amount that you'll see on this knob, that is the amount that you see on that knob is applied to whatever button in the midst of your patch is pink. So then if I go over here, we'll see that it changes. So we can see what we've selected and what amount it is, no matter how many of these different buttons have been selected and given their own amount. So it's really, really easy to navigate and immediate, and in a way easier to read than a bunch of tangled cables, which you have to kind of follow to see where they're going. You can see where all the connections are made quickly and easily and find out their amount by just pressing the button. Here's one problem. Say you're not paying attention and you go back to press this selected button. If you press a selected button, it cancels the connection. Oh no, we've lost the connection we had. Do you remember what that was set to? I don't, although you might, because it just showed it. Luckily, Arturia has foreseen that you might make this mistake. And if you press that, the previous connection's modulation amount is retained even after. So it'll remember the last setting you had that button at if you accidentally press it when you're trying to select it and it's already selected, which has happened to me. So that's the end of this part. We're going to move on to the next part.